Denis was glowing today, smiling even at random passersby as he parked his car near the house. His heart was pounding with anticipation. Just a little longer, and he would find himself on the warm sand of the Greek coast next to Marina. 7 days of vacation. No control, no rush, no fabricated excuses. No more meetings in rented apartments with curtains tightly drawn. In the glove compartment lay tickets for two, and in his briefcase, an official travel order for a business trip to an industrial hub, allegedly to study innovations in logistics. For his wife, it was the usual story. He walked into the apartment, hugged Irina, kissed his daughter, checked her notebooks, and happily sat down for dinner. Irina, as always, carefully placed a plate of hot soup and chicken cutlets in front of him. "Business trip tomorrow," he said, averting his eyes. "A week, maybe a little less." "Again?" she asked calmly. "Well, take care of yourself. The weather in those industrial zones isn't pleasant." Irina didn't ask further questions. She had long understood that love was gone. What remained were habit, care for their child, fear of loneliness, and the marriage contract. 10 years ago, her parents had insisted on it. Back then, it seemed like a mere formality, but now the document had become her weapon. Clause number 6 clearly stated, in the case of marital infidelity, proven with documentation, the unfaithful spouse forfeits the right to shared property, including the business. A week ago, Irina had accidentally seen his messages. He had forgotten to lock his phone. A name, Marina. Photos, chats. Everything was clear. She didn't make a scene, just poured herself tea with lemon and dialed Maxime, their family friend and lawyer. The next day, when Denis mentioned his business trip, Irina already knew what to do. She smiled, hugged him, kissed his cheek, and said quietly, "Good luck with your logistics projects." He walked out with a light step, never looking back. He thought everything was under control. Marina was thrilled. A seaside hotel, white robes, the scent of jasmine in the lobby, and waiters offering champagne. Their suite was called Romantic Luxe. The staff smiled and said, "Special arrangements for the Orloff spouses." Marina laughed, kissed Denis, and whispered, "See, just like in the movies." With her, he felt 10 years younger, swimming, cocktails, carefree days, and no Irina in her worn-out robe with face cream. That world felt distant, almost unreal. But on the third day, something went wrong. At first, the usual notifications about transactions stopped appearing. Then his restaurant payment was declined. He tried again, refused. At first, he thought it was a glitch, but soon an email arrived from the bank's lawyer. Due to submitted documents in a property division case, access to the corporate account has been temporarily suspended. He froze. His heart pounded like a caged animal's. He rushed to check transfers, balances. Everything was frozen. "Something wrong?" Marina asked, coming out of the shower in a thin robe. "Looks like Irina has started making her move," he muttered. On the fourth day, a package of documents and photographs arrived. He and Marina, on the beach, in the restaurant, on the balcony. Marina sighed heavily. "I'm sorry. I didn't think she'd go this far. I thought you had it under control." Denis was silent. Everything was collapsing. His money, his confidence, his familiar world. He tried to book a flight home, but the nearest one was the next morning. He had almost no cash left. Marina packed her things. "Please understand, I don't want scandals or lawsuits. It was nice while it lasted, but now, it's not the same." He sat hunched at the edge of the bed. His stride was no longer confident. When Denis returned to the city, he entered the apartment. Irina sat at the table, their daughter next to her, drawing with markers. A folder of papers lay in plain sight. "Divorce papers," she said calmly. "I won't drag this out. You're always in such a hurry, right?" He lowered his eyes, searching for words, but none came.
I explained everything to Polina. She's mature for her age. She said she loves you, but doesn't want to live with a father who lies. Denis exhaled weakly. Irina, please. You're free, Denis. Completely free. Only the price of that freedom is too high for you. A few months later, court proceedings concluded. The contract was merciless. The business, the house, all property went to Irina. Custody of their daughter was awarded to her without hesitation. Irina quickly adapted to managing the business. Maxime introduced her to investors, and the company started growing steadily. She felt confident, powerful. Evenings with Polina were filled with shared dinners, laughter, news, and sometimes casual mentions of Denis without anger, just as a fact of the past. Denis rented a small room on the outskirts of town, barely making ends meet running a tiny print shop. Marina vanished as soon as she realized he was no longer a successful owner, but just a man without prospects. His daughter saw him rarely, each time greeting him with a quieter, "Hi, Dad." Meanwhile, Irina smiled more often, not because life was easy, but because she felt peace inside. She knew she had made it through, that she hadn't broken, hadn't become a victim. She was the master of her life. And every time she saw a TV commercial with her company's logo, she thought, "Thank you, Denis. You gave me freedom.